Welcome back to After Hours. Today, my personal top 10 movies of the 2010s. Let's go. Alright guys, after hours of research on all the movies that I had seen in the 2010 to 2020 era, this is my list of what I believe are the top 10 movies of the 2010s. Like the video, comment down below if you agree, if you disagree, if I'm missing something. I'm sure I skipped over a few, but these are my favorites, starting with number 10. Guardians of the Galaxy, the original one. This movie came out in 2014, 8.0 out of 10 on IMDb. It is directed by James Gunn. Chris Pratt is in it. Bradley Cooper as Rocket. Theater experience was awesome. This part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe was just such a fun time. Go to the theater, listen to the music, the soundtrack from it. To this day, I still pull that soundtrack up on Spotify and play it at random occasions because it was just like a beautiful score throughout the entire thing. Guardians of the Galaxy snuck in at number 10. Very good watch. Parasite, 8.0 out of 10 on IMDb, came out in 2019. This is a foreign film. I always struggle to hop on the foreign film train early, but I heard really good things about this and decided to give it a try. So this is one of the original movies that I had ever watched with subtitles. It's a must. Director Bong Joon-ho, same guy that directed Snowpiercer with Chris Evans. This is a thriller. Boy, if you let it grab you, you're in, you're hooked. It is on the edge of your seat type watch of a movie, especially as it gets towards the end. No spoilers. It's about greed and class discrimination that threaten a newly formed relationship between the wealthy Park family and the destitute Kim clan. Essentially, they make friends with this rich family, start working for them, cleaning their house, all the things, and then you just see the thriller play out. Great movie. Gotta give it a watch. Instant Family. Instant Family is 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Came out in 2018. This one is Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne. Rose Byrne was in Neighbors with Seth Rogen. I really like her a lot. I like probably just the accent. Mark Wahlberg and her find themselves in over their heads when they go to foster. They want to be parents. They can't have kids of their own. They end up fostering 3 children. It's chaotic and it's toxic at the beginning, but as the movie goes on, the first time I watched it, I was in tears as the relationship developed. It's just through and through one of those movies. It's a feel good, but also like hard to get there. And it's a kind of the theme of life, It's not always going to be great times, but when you push through those hard times, definitely worth it. Instant Family at number 8. Molly's Game. IMDb 7.4 out of 10. Came out in 2017. Jessica Chastain. This is the first lead role movie that I'd seen her in. Honestly, that I recognized her, and I know she was in some movies around this time. Jessica Chastain, Idris Elba, Michael Cera is in it from Superbad, Jeremy Strong from Succession, Joe Keery from Stranger Things. A lot of you like him in Stranger Things. But the true story of Molly Bloom, who was an Olympic class skier that ran the world's most highest exclusive high stakes poker game, became an FBI target for that. The way this movie plays out, the way that they do this type of movie where there's commentating, so you can hear her thoughts, almost breaking the fourth wall throughout it all, and the way it shows the poker being played and the high stake, that you can almost feel it, like as if you're playing at that table, the dramatized poker nights that they have. It was pretty captivating of a movie. One of those that I, remember where I was when I watched it the first time, was in the entire movie. So, Molly's Game, number 7. Whiplash. IMDb 8.5 out of 10. Came out in 2014. This is Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. First off, Miles Teller, one of my favorite actors out there. Probably in my top 10 for sure. could sneak into my top 5. Beyond that, J.K. Simmons plays an incredible role in this one. It's about a young drummer who enrolls, that's Miles Teller, at a cutthroat music conservatory where his dreams of greatness are mentored by an instructor who will stop at nothing to realize a student's potential. Miles Teller plays drums in it. J.K. Simmons is the conductor. It is so intense, almost hard to watch at times because you're like, what is he doing? It's violent and you wouldn't think it because it has to do with like music and orchestra and band, whatever. So good. On the edge of your seat type movie. Number 6, Whiplash. The Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street is 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb, release year is 2013. This is based on a true story of Jordan Belfort, from his rise to a wealthy stockbroker, living high life to his fall involving crime, corruption, and the federal government. The cool thing about this was when this came out, 2013, I was still in college, so went to the theaters and saw it then. It's Leonardo DiCaprio. Jonah Hill's got a big part in it. It's kind of his switch into more serious roles. I know he had Moneyball, which came out around that time-ish. Margot Robbie. And this is the first time I really got to know Margot Robbie, and it was a great movie for her to be in. She is top 5 actresses of mine. The cool thing was that Jordan Belfort, the guy it's actually based on, it was like all of a sudden now he's like a face on YouTube. Like he came back into popularity when, you used to know how this script plays out. He just made all this money, did all these drugs, that just had all these hookers, corruption within the government. Now he's just back. And he's talking about how he had that store and how to sell and the business and everything. And it was cool to see that kind of switch flip after the movie came out. Great performances by everyone on that one. Number 5, The Wolf of Wall Street. Inside Out. Pixar animated movie, made my top 5, no doubt about it. I remember being in the theater with this one. IMDb gave it an 8.1 out of 10. Release year was 2015. The premise is young Riley is uprooted from her Midwest life, moves to San Francisco. Her emotions, which are in her head, joy, fear, anger, disgust, and sadness, the conflict on how to best navigate this new city, new house, and new school. Watching it then, it was great. Watching it now, as a parent, it elevates itself. It's one of those movies that Pixar did that's like just next level, great for all audiences. Cool thing, coming July, I believe, Inside Out 2 is coming out, and that's going to be, from what I've heard, about Riley's teenage years, so you'll get to see the emotions then. But yeah, the way it plays out, the way it shows, especially as an infant, a baby, like all these emotions come out and they're like trying to work together to figure it out, but one is more powerful than the other. I see that in Brew a lot of the times. I'm like, he's really working on sadness these days. But then they just, as you get older and evolve as a human, they start working together, and you see that play out in this movie. Touches at your heart. One scene for sure, towards the very end, tears. Watched it again yesterday and was like, this is the part, but no spoilers. Inside Out, number 4. Now to the top 3, and keep in mind, my opinion, top 3. Ones that I will never forget, that I always think these are some of my top movies. Interstellar, 2014, IMDb gave it an 8.7 out of 10. It's one of the best movies of all time based on just critics. It's about Joseph Cooper, who's a NASA pilot. He's tasked to pilot a spacecraft along with a team of researchers to find a new planet for humans. This one is crazy good. Like, Matthew McConaughey, unbelievable performance. It's in space, so the cinematics were crazy. Anne Hathaway's in it. Jessica Chastain is in this. Jessica Chastain is on 2 of my top 10 movies. And then I didn't know this until recently, but Timothée Chalamet is the boy in it. So that was cool to find out. But anything that Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer do together is usually an epic piece. And this one was a hitter. Hans Zimmer and this one with the score, I play it to this day. There's so many great, you can almost feel the scene in the music. I think one of the things that Christopher Nolan, when he was working with Hans Zimmer, he said, yeah, let's do it about a boy and his father, and they're having like horror. Like, he didn't tell him what the plot of the movie was about. He was just like, hey, so write the score based on a troubling father and son relationship. It actually was about father and daughter, and then them splitting, but like that, distance between them. She wasn't okay with it. He felt like he had to for the good of mankind. Crazy good movie. There's definitely a few moments in this one too where it just tugs at your heart, and you kind of put yourself in McConaughey's shoes. Honestly, can't imagine how he went through what he did in the film. So number 3, Interstellar. Everybody Wants Some. 2016. This is probably a crazy movie to some of you that you think, how is this number 2? Release year was 2016, IMDb 6.9 out of 10. In 1980, a group of college baseball players navigate their way through the freedoms and responsibilities of unsupervised adulthood. This college baseball team, there is no baseball played until like the very end of the movie. So you're just watching dudes go through college together. It's super cool how they like go to different bars that are different themed music. So there's like an 80s theme one, there's a 70s, there's a rock theme one. So it's like you're seeing the era of time of what it was like in 1980, which made it super cool. And then on top of that, Zoe Dutch, she's in this one. I like a lot of the stuff she's in. A lot of the underrated, like, you know, not like box office hits that she does. Great actress. Wyatt Russell and Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell is kind of big in the news lately, him and Sydney Sweeney. But Wyatt Russell is one of my favorite actors now, too. He's in a lot of good movies. He is actually the son of Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, which a lot of people don't know. This was one of those movies that I watched and then immediately watched it again. Like, it finished, and I was like, I got time to run that back. In my top 2, always will be, Everybody Wants Some, number 2. Fury. 2014, IMDb gave it a 7.6 out of 10. It's about a grizzled tank commander that makes tough decisions as he and his crew fight their way across Germany in April of 1945. So, World War II, tank warfare. Germans have these just next level tanks that our tanks can't handle. So we have to strategically beat them. And it's all about that. It follows a new recruit, Norman. So he joins the tank, and the people inside this tank are Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf, Michael Pena, and John Bernthal. Fantastic cast for this one. Very, very, very good. Just the way they work together, and they're bruised and beaten mentally, physically from war. Just what they've gone through. I mean, because this is towards the end of the war. I mean, even as an actor, like Shia LaBeouf, apparently, like he was so into the character that there's a cut on his face, like a scar, that he in real life like took a knife and cut. So that way it would look legit. This was one I remember. I drove back from college, met my dad, brother at the theater. They brought steak into the theater, so I'm eating steak. That could have helped. Man, I was in it the whole way through. And the way that it plays out and the decisions that are made, gut-wrenching, great film. That's my number 1 movie of the 2010s. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't seen some of these, check them out. Let me know in the comments if there's any that I'm missing that you think should be on this list, because I would love to see it if I haven't. Let's have a hot debate. With that, never forget, I love you, and I'm proud of you. Peace.